Good evening and welcome to the final race, race 6 of the Aero Army Wyn TT series. And well, it's on a phenomenal stage tonight. Duchy Estate, 2 laps, 8 kilometres in total. It's going to take a really controlled effort tonight. We've got 2 categories in particular, or 3 should I say, that are very close. A grade men, C grade, and then also the women's competition. And Carly, in particular, the women's competition has been a great one to watch, hasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. It's been some tight competitions, and we've had a lot of different winners over the last 5 weeks. So it all comes down to this final race on who will win, and all of the girls that are in for a shot are racing tonight. And I think it's going to be a really exciting finale.
Yeah, it's been some great turnouts. Last week we had the beautiful Bologna individual time trial course from the Giro from last year, and there's some great results. Let's have a look at those right now. Zach Johnson was quickest in A grade ahead of Eddie Hull and Matt Burton. Nick Bensley, Steinis Kempe, they rounded out the top 5 with Carl Drury, Graham Rose, Brandon Clues Proctor, Lars Drugman and Simon Granello rounding out the top 10. That's your top 10 for A grade. Very fast time, 13:35 for Zach Johnson. In B grade, Andres Meneses, he took out the victory in 15:42 with Tarun Nagay and Matt Sullivan taking out the minor placings. Billy Turf, Jeffrey Pyman rounded out the top 5 with Anthony O'Connell, Stealthman Toshiaki, Brian Mitchell, John Shin, and in 10th position, Lucas Augusta. And that was a really good effort for them as well. 15:42 for Andreas to take out the victory. In C grade, Luke McKenzie, our special guest tonight, coming up in just a short period of time, took it out in 18 minutes and 40 seconds. Ryan Mills, who leads the general classification, I believe, now in second. Daniel Moreira, he was in third, rounding at the podium with David Byrne, John Charles, Sam Buckley, JG, Brian Nuttall, Zach Robinson and Rafael Aragones also in the top 10. In D grade, it was Ebby that took out the victory in 20 minutes 31. Karen Lee, second in a time of 21:06 with Oliver Lanuz. He's the under 12 rider. Great effort again to take third place. Wendy Chow, Corey Cox, they rounded out the top 5 with John Wyatt, Paul Fagan, Scott Dowling and Herbie Labiche finishing just ahead of 10th place, Dean Grooney. And well, we talked about it a lot the last 2 weeks in particular, but the women's category again, really hard fought out. Dana Wagner, she took out the victory, 16:19, phenomenal effort. Bronwyn McGregor, not far behind, and it was a big fight between her and Jenny Pettinan to get all the way to the line. Gabrielle Keeley, who's right up there in the general classification in 4th. Jessica Bemrose in 5th. Julia Atkins, great ride by her as well. Busy Butterworth in 7th. Sarah Fitton, Rhiannon Norton, and Jackie Coolibab rounding out the top 10. That was a great race last week, but now we look at the general classification. And as I said, in A grade, very close. Zach Johnson just 2 points ahead of Eddie Hull. Kieran Lewis just 10 behind. He was a man missing in action last week, but we look forward to seeing him back this week. Carl Drury in 23 points. He's equal on 4th with Pale Ely, and he's going really strong too. Matt Robertson, Steinis Kempe, Jesper Verhoeven, Matt Burton, and David Randall. They round out that top 10 positions. Matt Sullivan leads in B grade. He's got a fairly big lead there at 27 points. Nothing at risk tonight, but hopefully a good performance. Byron Mitchell in equal second with Jeffrey Pyman. A lot to fight for there. Scott Kenneth and Jacob Mickey, they round out the top 5 with Alex Smith, should I say, Andres Meneses, last week's winner, equal on 10 points in 5th. Anthony O'Connell, Tegs Angel, and Luke McKenzie, who are also got good points in the top 10. Ryan Mills, he's in top place in C grade with 29 points. David Byrne in second. Brian Nuttall and Noah DeWright, all within striking distance of a podium position at the end of this series. This is the final race tonight, though, so I have to put it all on the table. Ebby in 6th. Todd Koskut in 7th, equal with Mark Padman, our Chinese participant, and China Nakajima, all on 10 points. And D grade, Wendy Chow, she leads the way, 10 points ahead of Oliver Lanuz, Ryan Nielsen rounds out the top three. Cupcake Cartel, love that little team name there. John Wyatt, he's in fourth place on 12 points. Andrew Cook on 9, equal with Andrew Oy. Corey Cox on 8 points, equal with Graham Arthur. Martin Tenham, and they are equal 7th place. And then in 10th place, Shelley B for the Aussie Hub Day Riders. Always big fan to see them involved. Big, great ride to be taking part of midweek. Jenny Pettinan, she leads the way in the women's overall, 42 points, with Gabrielle Keeley on 36, Bronwyn McGregor on 33. And this is going to be a hard-fought battle tonight. Busy Butterworth on 25, Keely Gamble on 20, Kim Garland, she's on 14, equal with Jessica Bemrose. Then it is Kath McKay, should I say, Fran Bamburst in ninth, and Dana Wagner, our winner from last week. Rounding out the top 10, Carly, some really interesting contests there, particularly the A grade, then C grade, and then into the women's. What do you think about tonight's stage?
Yeah, I think last week it really did suit more the climbing type rider, and today it's going to suit those flatter riders, but also again it's going to be about that pacing strategy and using the little pinches that are on the course to try to make your bigger effort there. So it is 2 laps as well, so the athletes will be able to do 1 lap and get a bit of a feel for the course. But yeah, it's going to be just another hard week and another awesome opportunity for these riders to get a PB.
Yeah, well, we've got Luke and Beth McKenzie joining us tonight, and what better time? We're just 2.5 minutes away from starting in the pens, Carly. And Luke, look, tonight's course different to last week, but what advice can you give the other participants about pacing themselves on a course that they've got to particularly do multiple times?
Don't do what I do. I always go out way too hard. I learned my lesson in Bologna last week, so hopefully this week I can ride a more measured race.
Yeah, and Carly, you are a big fan of Luke and Beth McKenzie's and have been following this series, and obviously the creators of Wyn. Luke, you created Wyn with Beth, and we understand you've also got a secondary brand. Can you tell us a little bit about them?
Yeah, no, we started the brand Wyn Republic in 2017, named after our first daughter, born in California and raised here in Australia, much like our family. And more recently, we've added the Marlow brand as well, named after our second daughter. It's an activewear brand that we released last year, and it's had good success.
And the reasons for creating Wyn and Marlow, what drove you to doing such a great and adventurous opportunity?
I guess just, we're coming to the end of our pro triathlon career, and we're looking towards retirement and the next chapter in our sporting lives. So, yeah, starting an apparel brand maybe sounded easy at the time, but it definitely isn't. But we're enjoying every step of it.
Well, look, nothing worthwhile is ever easy, as you know, throughout your professional career with you and Beth. All the best tonight. Thanks for your insights. And if we do have time, we'll catch up with you after the race as well. We'll head down to the start, Carly. And thanks for the time again, Luke. How great is it to have the pros also offer their time too?
Yeah, working with Wyn Republic this series has been awesome, and you can see the pretty sick kit that you can buy in real life as well that Luke was wearing just then. And so clearly matchy is important in cycling, but also in triathlons, and looks like they've been doing a really good job with the company. And you can purchase that kit as well if you're wanting to make sure that you match with your avatar.
Yeah, great opportunity. I love the headband just for those that want to know my little input. But straight down to the start, another great week of entries as well, Carly. It's been so well received, this series, over the 6 weeks, and obviously tonight is the final race. But I think there's going to be a fair few people here missing this next week, but certainly some more competitions coming up.
Yeah, it definitely has been. This is the first series that we've actually had specifically for the triathlon market, and definitely well received. We've been getting, I think there's over 800 people registered for tonight, which is just awesome. And feel a little bit for Luke in his warm up. I think we gave him a 20-second buffer from chatting to going full gas, but hopefully he does well tonight and we see his avatar out there soon.
Yeah, I really love the tie over with Wyn and Marlowe, their two children, and linking that linkage is really quite personal. And I think that they've invested so much into their careers as triathletes that now they'll do the same with their business. And certainly, as you touched on, if you're wanting to get the kit that you're riding in game, you can also buy a real life Wyn Republic kit to wear outdoors. And I think that's been a fantastic new initiative by Zwift and its partners over the series through winter this year in Australia. And certainly these time trial events need to be more prevalent. I think it's a great opportunity for people to not only race, Carly, but it's also about setting a personal best, isn't it? And each week we can see that there's been particular athletes that have continued to develop, and that's certainly a great thing to take out of the series.
Yeah, it definitely gives, I think, a lot of us motivation during winter when we haven't really had much races in real life. And this has been a great initiative. And I think also just the shorter races too. We tend to do a lot of those longer 30-kilometer ones, but 8 kilometers can hurt just as much. And it's a nice way of also setting that benchmark that you can compare the other events against yourself as well. So it definitely has been really well received. And I'm just a little bit devastated that I haven't been able to join in one myself.
Oh, yes. Well, you're probably devastated. I'm not too much. I enjoy watching the others do all the hard work. As we're watching at the moment, Literal from D grade, and we've spanned through all the grades, by the way. And if certainly in the Facebook chat, if you want to leave a special message for a rider that you're supporting, then do so, please. And if we do get the chance, we'll pop up your messages throughout the evening. It's broadcast. But last week was such a good race, Carly, and we got to feed through all the different grades. And that's the fantastic thing about the stream, particularly in these types of races. So we get to look at different groups all the time. As I said, looking at Luttrell here and sitting on 36 kilometres an hour and producing a really nice power at a good revs per minute too. And certainly riding at a nice steady heart rate. And that's so crucial in time trials, isn't it, to pace yourself. We're going to go and see some in live cam too. Here's Luke. We just spoke to Luke McKenzie just before the start. As you said that Matt Kenzie, this is different. Sorry. Well, I was going to say for someone that we didn't give much for a warm up, Carly's certainly flying along already. But we certainly will find him later on. Looks like Zach Johnson's still in control of this grade at the moment.
Yeah, Zach Johnson has actually won every single race so far. He's been undefeated, and it looks like as if he's come here on race 6 to want to get another win on his belt and keep that winning streak. So he's got just a 2-second advantage, though, over Eddie Hall, who had an awesome race last week as well. So, another great race happening by Zach and Eddie. Yeah. Another tight battle, I hope.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Eddie's been going strength to strength each week, and I think he's certainly taken on board our positive comments from last week because he's putting in another great ride tonight. And at just 3 seconds, he's really sitting in a good position. How's the power by Zach Johnson, though? He was hitting in the 500s just a moment ago. Certainly Kempy's right there as well. He's only about 12 seconds back on Zach Johnson. He's right up there in the general classification because let's remember, Eddie Hall, he's only 2 points behind Zach Johnson, so if there was a good chance to get over the top of him tonight, he might be able to take out the overall series for A grade.
Yeah, and Eddie Hall, I think actually has just been getting stronger and stronger throughout the series and has had a couple of wins lately in the Herd Summer Racing League the last couple of weekends. So definitely getting stronger as we look at another one of our strong Zwift racers, Jenny Petterton, who's winning the women's classification at the moment. And it looks like as if it's going to be a pretty tight battle between her, Bronwyn, and Gabrielle Keeley for this final win. Jenny actually hasn't won a stage or a race yet, so she's got multiple podiums, but missing that elusive win. So maybe tonight's her night.
Yeah, and certainly this has been a really interesting competition to follow because last week's stage in particular, they're almost all together at 1.4 kilometres from the finish, where in Bologna that steep hill really kicks up and then it's spread apart. But it's all about consistency in a series type event like this Aero Army Wyn TT series has been on race 6 now over 6 weeks. It's who's the most consistent, and Petnan has shown that she has been able to do that. She does have a nice buffer, and particularly at the moment as she leads the women's race tonight, she'd be feeling very, very confident she can get the job done. Sitting around that 300 watts, which is a really great power to be pushing at 100 revs per minute. And she always has great support on the Facebook page and YouTube, does Jenny Petnan. And I've got to vouch for her. She's such a lovely lady. I've met her so many times around the real life racing in Victoria, and just such a joy to be around. So it's great to see her doing well for her Aero team, but also in the race, it's just been really a strong performance by all the women. Rihanna Crean, it's great to see a shout out there from Rihanna, sorry, as we did a little bit of broadcasting together earlier in the winter, and it's great to have her tuning in. She should be doing this race, by the way.
She actually is. She says she's racing D grade, so hopefully she has a good one. And she's also one of the Wyn Republic ambassadors, and it's been awesome seeing so many of their ambassadors actually jumping in and racing this series and supporting it. And I think a lot of them probably do want to be matching in Zwift as well as in real life, so they've got that extra motivation. But awesome seeing Rihanna there jumping in and going for a PR.
Yeah, certainly, and all the best tonight. It's been great having her on the streams this winter as well, offering a new perspective as well. So looking forward to doing more with Rihanna over the next few years as well. And so Eddie Hall is really trying his best to close in on Zach Johnson here in the A-grade category, really pushing a really substantial power, 480 watts there. A little bit of a drop-off now as he heads downhill at -3%. You can see that in the top right-hand corner. That shows you the grade of difficulty in which the riders are currently racing on. And this course has variable terrain the whole way, doesn't it, Carly? So how does a rider control that? And how do they maintain power, particularly on the faster pieces of the race?
Yeah, well, we mentioned this last week when the slower parts of the race is when you can make the most time up. So on these rises like now, when it jumps up to 6 and 7%, it's an ideal time to really put that effort in, because that's where you can make up the most amount of time. When it's fast, everyone's fast, and you can't really make up so much time on those downhills or flatter sections. So definitely knowing the course, and that's where those Zwifters that race a lot, Jenny Petnan and Zach and Eddie Hall as well, they do know this course so well, so they do know how to pace it pretty well as well, and that gives them a bit of an advantage there. But looks like Zach Johnson has paced it pretty perfectly and has about a 9-second buffer coming into the finish now.
Oh, and look how fast he flies around this course. 7.4 kilometres covered. He's got just over 500 metres to go. But, Carly, it's so difficult to maintain. A lot of people push too much power on the climbs, and so they feel like it's going strong, and they're pushing PBs uphill, but then losing a lot of their time on the downhill on the faster sections. And it's really about keeping that really balanced ride, as we see now. 500 metres to go for Zach Johnson as he's going to take out another victory in A-grade. But a big shout out to Eddie Hall. I think he's been fantastic in this series and certainly hasn't let Zach Johnson just have it his way the whole time. He's pressured him all the way to the line and probably in a lot of regards made him perform better, as we now see Goodman also. He's sitting in third.
Yeah, it's been a good battle tonight, and awesome seeing Carl Drury there. He was also, I think, sitting in fourth position just before with one race to go. So he's had another great race as well, hopefully keeping his overall GC.
Well, a big sprint to the line there just to decide third and fourth, should I say, tonight, as we see Meneses also there and Frederic Lecomte also coming in to finish shortly with just 400 metres to go. But a big sprint to the line in A-grade for the minor placings. Back to Jenny Petnan in the women's. She's got 600 metres to go, still leads the way. Looks like only 3 seconds back to McGregor, though, and she's really putting the pressure on. It's going to be a fight all the way down the line. We saw a quick sprint there for the finish for the minor placings in A grade. Now can we see the same? Looks like she's closing the gap on Petnan. This is going to be close to the line.
Yeah, McGregor's really trying to close that gap. It's about 4 seconds, but I think she might just run out of road as Petterton might take that win. But super close battle between McGregor and Jenny Petterton there, and another awesome race.
Well, yeah, and a very high heart rate there, 180. So McGregor's really driven herself as hard as she possibly can. She now gets on the descent. She has 100 metres to go. She'll be happy with that performance tonight, though. She was oh so close to Petnan. But it looks like Petnan will take out the series, and that's a great winner for her in the Aero Army Wyn TT series. In the women's grade, we will definitely look at these GC results after the conclusion. Now we look at Mackenzie. Now this is where we wanted to be earlier. He's just finished, so we'll have a check on his position as well. And remember, go check out the Wyn Republic online and check out their great kits that they got available. And Carly, how do they go about picking up that kit for in real life?
Yeah, definitely. If you go to their website, you'll be able to see the exclusive Zwift jersey that has been created for this series. And there is a limited time to order it as well. So definitely check it out now because, yeah, I think it looks pretty good. And, now with summer coming up and more riding outside, it's definitely worth to look good on the bike.
Well, there's definitely been some better weather in Victoria, although it's a rainy day today, but certainly, especially these exclusive kits that only a certain amount of people have, they're always phenomenal to have just in the repertoire and just pull it out every now and again. As we have a look at the results of today's race 6 of the Aero Army Wyn TT series, around the Dutch estate, it was 8 kilometres, and certainly in A grade, it was the man of the moment. He's been so good all series, Zach Johnson. Eddie Hall, 10 seconds back, a really brave performance. And it was Mainwaring and Bryan. They fought it out heavily for that third position, but it was the Aussie Hump Day rider. Love the kangaroo GIF there. And then Carl Drury in 5th. Guillaume Durand after Jackie Durand. Beautiful rider he was. Stainless Campe there as well. Luke McKenzie in 8th. Then Andreas Meneses and Frederic Lecomte. Great to see some internationals taking part as well. So that rounds out your top 10 in A grade. And in B grade, we look at Sebastian Retzlaff in first place, 10:56, a really close finish with Matt Sullivan just missing out by 1.3 seconds in second. Matt Woods rounding out the top 3 with Byron Mitchell, Anthony O'Connell, Cam Cole, Jeffrey Pyman, Jan Mormons, David Atwood, and Harry Driscoll rounding out the top 10 on a very fast course for B grade tonight. In C grade, Oliver Garrido Luque, he was in the winner's position with Charles Fry in second, Piotr Salsas in third, Frederick Delaloy in fourth, Keith McKenzie in fifth, Matthew Ashton in sixth place, Mark F in seventh, Ryan Mills, who looked to do a good performance for his GC positioning. We'll see how that plays out for him in eighth, Andrew McGrath in ninth, and Tino Gotting Pfeiffer in 10th position. In D grade, so far just 3 classified finishes. Oh, now they populate, and it's Christophe Lagarde who takes out the victory. 12 minutes 11, really fast time for Christophe. Aquaman Marty in second, Kota Aihara in third, Aaron in fourth, Chris Smith fifth, Kyochi Nakai in seventh, and Tony Woods rounding out those positions there in seventh. Well, we've always been talking about it, the women's category, and it's a strong performance again across the board. Jenny Patton, and she comes out the supreme tonight. Just 4 seconds in front of McGregor, who was gallant there in second place. Jessica Bemrose, 22 seconds back in third. Not that far ahead of Gabrielle Keeley. Then it was Rhiannon Norton, Busy Butterworth, Kath McKay, Beth McKenzie. Great performance, Beth, and a big shout out. Thanks for your support of the series. Julia Atkins for Team Aero and Hilda Wrong rounding out the top 10. Well, it looks like we've got a good chance to head back into the Mackenzie household, potentially to have a chat shortly, Carly. But fantastic work by all the athletes, and they should be very happy with their performances tonight.
Yeah, what a series it's been. 6 weeks has definitely flown by, and we've had some awesome performances from all grades, men and women, and awesome just seeing so many people take part and give it their best shot. And yeah, another great race tight competition, I think, in GC for the women, that's for sure.
And I think they'll look forward to that. I think they probably want more of that in the coming weeks. But unfortunately, this series has finished. But there'll certainly be more opportunities for them to race over the coming weeks. And there's been some interesting series of, announced recently. Well, Luke, it looks like he's back available for us. Luke, how did you find it tonight? 8 kilometres, but it looked like it burnt.
Oh, I'm used to going 180 kilometres, not 8. So, yeah, no, this is just way out of my comfort zone. And, yeah, hats off to the guys and girls that can race like full gas over this distance, because it's just another level for me. So I just thoroughly enjoyed being part of the series. Thank you, everyone, for joining. The 6 weeks did fly by, and I hope everyone had a lot of fun as much as I did.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I think they did. And I think the greatest thing, hi, Beth, I think the most amazing thing is the participation rate. We had so many people coming back week and week and week again. And I think that this can really grow to be something big again next year. And fantastic. Yep. Thank you so much for your support. Let's remind people once again how they can get their jersey for participating in the series, Carly, in real life.
Yeah, for sure. Head to the Wyn Republic website and you'll be able to see the kit there and purchase it while it's still available, because it's definitely a hot commodity at the moment. And yeah, get matching with your avatar.
Yeah, fantastic, Luke and Beth, to support the series. Let's have a look at the general classification for the series. It was 6-race series. It finished tonight. And in the A-grade category, well, it's going to be Zach Johnson. We know that for sure as it populates on screen. But Zach Johnson, he was very strong throughout the series. Jenny Pettinan, should I say. It's the women's category. She rounds it out with 52 points. Gabrielle Keeley, she comes over the top tonight, finishing second, with Bronwyn McGregor in third. And look at those points, 43, 42, so close. Busy Butterworth on 30 points in fourth. And Jessica Bemrose, 22 points in fifth, with Keely Gamble in sixth place, Kath McKay in seventh, Rhiannon Norton, big shout out to Rhiannon, and Kim Garland, ninth, Fran Bamburst in 10th. We'll look at the men now, and it's Zach Johnson on 60 points. He reigns supreme. But Eddie Hall, as I said, big shout out to Eddie, a fantastic performance throughout the series. Carl Drury in third, Kieran Lewis, Zwift HQ in fourth, Dominic Paolilli in fifth, Steinis Campet for Team Aero in sixth, Matt Robinson seventh, David Manwaring, great ride tonight by David, he finishes in eighth, Jesper Verhoeven in ninth, and Matt Burton from WA in 10th. Fantastic series for all of those riders. In B grade, Matt Sullivan with a strong performance tonight. He was only just notched on the line. Byron Mitchell in second, then Jeffrey Pyman. They fought it out, tooth and nail all the way to the line, but it's Mitchell that gets the silver in front of Pyman. Anthony O'Connell in fourth, Scott Kenneth in fifth, Jacob Mickey in sixth, Alex Smith tied for sixth, Sam Lindsay tied for sixth, and so too Andres Meneses, our winner from last week. Matthew Woods in 10th place on 9 points, and a great series for all of the B-grade riders. In C grade, Ryan Mills, well, he did reign supreme in the end, and he takes it out on 37 points ahead of David Byrne and Brian Nuttall in second and third. Noah DeWright, big shout out for the young man in fourth position on 14 points. Our Japanese visitors, Toru Otaki and Ebi, our winner from last week, with 12 and 11 points. Todd Cockshut, he finishes with 10 on equal seventh position with Mark Padman, Christophe Lagarde, and our Chinese participant. In D grade, Wendy Chow, she gets over the line by just 1 point in the end, Carly. So close with Oliver Linnell's. And a big shout out to the young man. What a great fight by those two throughout the series. Paul Fagan, he finishes on equals third with two other riders, Ryan Nielsen and Scott Dowling, with Chris Smith equals sixth with Aaron, and equal eighth position on 9 points, Herbie Labiche, Andrew Cook, and Andrew Oy. Fantastic effort by all of the riders, Carly, and it has been a fantastic series. This is race 6. It is the final of the 6-race series of the Aero Army Wyn TT series, and it's been an absolute pleasure to cover it. I've only been in the last 2 weeks. Matt Keenan, I'm subbing in for him. Maybe I should have cut a little bit more hair off. But it's been fantastic to chat through the race series with you too, Carly, and particularly to offer people this new opportunity to have a time trial series rather than group races.
Yeah, it definitely has been an awesome series and nice working with you again, Pat. You always bring another aspect to the racing and insight that is instrumental. But yeah, there is another chance to unlock the Wyn kit on Monday mornings. If they happen to miss out on the TT series, the Wyn Republic will be taking over the Trailsy Bunchy on a Monday morning at 6 a.m. 6:30 a.m. Sorry, for those that don't live in Adelaide. I'm used to being behind the
majority
times,
of people.
but yeah, exactly. So the chances aren't all lost, but definitely for everyone that has participated and joined in one event or all of them, it's been amazing to watch them race and give it their all, and hope everyone had fun and we see them back riding on Zwift and racing soon.
We certainly do. And don't forget, visit the Wyn Republic website and register your interest for that great jersey. And also check out their other stock online. It was fantastic to have Wyn's support of the series. And I hope you all enjoyed the 6-race series for the participants. And remember, leave a nice comment for the riders in the comment box in the Facebook chat. It's been fantastic to be your broadcast crew for Carly Taylor and Pat Shaw. It is good night and ride on.